Hello, and welcome to Studio 415.
On today's show, you'll hear about the shakeup in the American Sign Language program.
You will see the sights and hear the sounds of Japan through the eyes of exchange students.
And we will give you an update on the marching band and dance team seasons. Welcome to Studio 415. I'm Jordan Galbraith.
And I'm Adam Spieth. Over the past few years, American Sign Language, or ASL, has grown outside of the deaf community to become a part of the hearing world.
Carroll High School has seen an extreme growth in class sizes and interest. However, the hiring process has not always been easy, making the addition to the new ASL teacher, Margot Noel, that much more special.
Studio 415 reporter Haley Carter has some of the story about some of the changes occurring in the foreign language hall.
The ASL program didn't start out as popular as it is now. After only teaching half days and having around 70 students, Nancy Scholes is proud of the development of the interest in the ASL program.
And I don't know if it doubled to this year, but we had the need to hire a third teacher. We had enough students to need a third teacher.
Hired in 2015, Todd Swing was the second teacher here at Carroll. Initially, Margot Noel, the third teacher and new hire this year, was training with Swing. However, Todd Swing chose to resign and leave the program a few weeks into the school year. Now, Margot Noel and Nancy Scholes are taking over the large classrooms on their own. That being a challenge enough, Margot Noel has even more to face, being deaf.
Sometimes when it comes up with long questions or topics we need to discuss, it can be a little difficult sometimes.
Margot Noel hasn't always been deaf. When she was 3, she got sick with a high fever and lost her hearing. Although she didn't go to a deaf school, she still learned sign language. She also got cochlear implants a few years ago and can now hear more than ever.
Now that I'm older and there's more information out there, we're studying on it, I felt more confident with getting cochlear implants, and it's opened up a whole new world for me.
Both teachers are working together as much as possible to handle the sudden departure of Todd Swing. While it was messy at first, the dust is being cleared as new class rosters are being set and more signs are being learned.
And maybe you like the teacher that you started out with and you don't want to switch teachers, but it is what it is, and we're going to try to do the best that we can with the situation.
With the classes settling into their new positions, the language hall will be back to normal in no time. For Studio 415, I'm Haley Carter.
Imagine the deafening buzz of cicadas in the summer and the soft sounds of wind chimes hanging outside Buddhist temples.
These are the sounds of Japan. Studio 415 reporter Olivia Haggard joins us in the studio with more.
Every student at Carroll High School has the chance to experience the rich history and culture of the Far East through the Japanese exchange program. All students have to do is join. Here, the students in the Koto Club at Yamate Gakuin show their talents to the CHS exchange students. Since the program started in 2015, there have been 2 trips to Yokohama, Japan, and 1 group of exchange students who visited CHS. Junior Caitlin Birch has visited Japan twice through this program.
I would definitely recommend it because it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I know that sounds strange from someone who's been twice, but it really is. You don't know when you're going to get another chance to do this and stay with the host family and create that bond, because they do really become like your family at the end of the 2 weeks.
Students will experience 2 sides of Japanese culture, both modern and traditional. They will get the chance to see things like the Studio Ghibli Museum, the 2nd largest Buddha statue in Japan, and Tokyo Disneyland. However, traveling to Japan is not the only way to experience its culture. Anyone interested can host Japanese exchange students. Japanese teacher Laura Semba explains some benefits of hosting.
Normal American life is what they really want to experience, and so you, as someone who's hosting, gain a lot of knowledge about your own culture, I think, and then also learn about theirs, and you gain good friends, and then you always have some place to stay in Japan if you want to go.
In order to take part in the exchange program, students must either be in a Japanese language class or host 2 students from Japan.
I just think it's an amazing experience, and I hope a lot of people will take advantage of hosting and possibly going to Japan, because a country. I mean, I'm still learning about it, and I've been studying it for a long time, so there's always something to learn.
Sept plans to take another group to Japan in July of 2019 and expect to see more Japanese students in the halls of April 2019. スタジオ45のために私はオリビア・ハガードです。
The Carroll girls golf team competed at regionals at Noble Hawk Golf Course on Saturday. Despite achieving a season-low 367, the girls team was eliminated.
Tina Kindler finished with an 80, Marie Kohlinger shot an 86, Brooke Schlatter had a 99, Jordan Galbraith ended with a 102, and Abby Jackson finished with a 108.
If you've attended any of one of the recent home football games, you may have seen our very own Charger Pride performing their show during halftime.
However, after performing on Friday nights, the band turns around and competes on Saturdays as well.
I got the opportunity to talk to both students and directors about the emotional meaning behind their program this year.
5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12.
Last year, the marching band had a successful year, placing 10th at their state competition with one of their strongest shows ever. However, this year they are looking to come back and be even better than last year. This year, the band show is entitled Through Tearful Eyes. Each movement is derived from one of 4 reasons why we cry.
I think that there's a lot of emotion obviously that goes into this show because it's about, crying because you're sad, you're lonely, you're angry, and you're joyful. I think that's really awesome.
While competition season for the band is in full swing, visual effects and musical enhancements are still being added. The director of the band program, Doug Essel, is entering into his 6th year teaching at Carroll. He believes that this show is special. He believes very strongly in personally connecting with the show as well.
Even though it's marching band, the show is about reasons that we all cry, and the whole idea is for our students to get this understanding that everybody cries, and when people cry, there's a reason. And when you can see through tearful eyes, that's the name of the show, when you can see through other people's tearful eyes into their hearts, and then you can connect with them.
The band practiced the first week of June in order to understand the basics of marching techniques. The weeks prior to school starting consisted of intense 9 to 6 o'clock practices every day of the week in order to learn a large majority of the show in preparation for the competition season. Once the school year begins, rehearsals shorten to 6 to 9 o'clock practices every night, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. The band also has extensive practices the mornings before their competitions. The students enjoy performing the show as much as the directors enjoy teaching it. However, that doesn't mean it's easy, but members of the band continually receive motivation from both their staff and those that watch them.
The reaction from the crowd has been absolutely motivating. During the shows, when we hear it, it makes us get way more into it, but also just reminds us we got to keep working hard in practices if we want to keep hearing stuff like that and keep reaching the crowd like that.
Carroll's next performance is September 30th, when they'll travel to Homestead for the Homestead Invitational. For Studio 415, I'm Adam Spieth.
Eat, sleep, dance, repeat. This is what the schedules of many of the dancers on Carroll Electric Blue dance team looks like.
Between these 3 things, there isn't much time for school. Studio 415 reporter Ben James has an inside look on how some of Carroll's EBD team members balance their busy lives.
You've probably seen them dancing on the sidelines at a basketball game or walking the halls during the day. The dancers on Carroll's Electric Blue dance team live far from ordinary lives. With a normal season that lasts from August to March, saying that they have a full schedule would be an understatement. An ordinary dancer on EBDT has 3 practices a week. Add on schoolwork to that and you get a full day. Many of the dancers on the team are far from ordinary and take that to a whole new level.
Being part of 2 teams is a lot for someone, I would say, especially dance because it's go, 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 go the whole time. I go from dance team straight to studio. I have a 15-minute drive there and then I dance there for 3 hours every day after practice.
This means that many of EBDT's dancers practice upwards of 13 hours a week. Carroll's varsity football team practices around 8 hours a week. That alone shows that the amount of dedication that is required from dance is above and beyond many other sports. With so little time after school, members of the dance team have to find ways to manage their time well.
I have to get a lot of work done during school and make sure I'm using my time correctly, and it's a lot of time management.
Not only do they have to get as much of their homework done during school, they also have to use any downtime before and after practice to keep up with their work. It is a constant balance of schoolwork and dance. With giving up so much of their free time, many people might ask why they do it. The answer to that question is simple. They love what they do.
I love dance as a way to represent myself in a way that maybe you can't do verbally, or it's just easier to do through your motions and emotion.
I love to dance because it helps me meet people that I've never met before, and I get connections that I would never have without it.
Growing closer with the team, I just like the overall everything about, I don't know, I like everything about dance.
This love can often be seen in many of the emotional dances they are a part of, and simply the massive amount of dedication required to be a dancer.
With the season just getting underway, the dance team has a couple weeks to practice their dances. Catch EBDT's first performance at the first varsity basketball game. From Studio 415, I'm Ben James.
That's all we have today. Thanks for watching.
If you have any story ideas that you would like to see covered, mention them to any of the students in the credits or to Mr. Johnston.
For all of us here at Studio 415, have a great week, Carroll.